If you can hear me, please clap. Thank you all. My name is Silvette Mayorquín. I will be your natural guide for today. So thank you for choosing us for our well-watching tour today. Welcome aboard this vessel. Before we do anything, we need to talk about safety because that's the most important part of our trip. We are a Coast Guard regulated vessel. So in case of an unlike emergency, what do? We have 3 life rafts of 50 people each one. In case of an emergency, just listen to the crew instructions. You have underneath each seat personal protection devices. If you see fire, what do you say? Or smoke? Fire! And you can use one of our fire extinguishers, which are located on the front and the back of our vessel. In case you notice we are floating, that means that you need to have at all time both of your legs firm and steady, and one hand for the boat, just like a tripod. We also have mooring heads on the back of the vessel, but they work very different than the ones that you have at home. So that means that you can only put there number 1 and number 2. Nothing else goes there, okay? No candies. No nothing. Number 1, number 2, nothing else. So let's do a little bit of summary. In case of an emergency, listen to the crew. There's also life raft and personal protection devices. Sea legs, you need to have both of your legs and one hand for the boat. No smoking on the vessel. If you see someone overboard, both of your hands. If you see fire, fire, and fire extinguisher. I will say that's all for our safety briefing. Thank you all for listening to me. Let's go for the fun part. What do you want to see? What are you coming? Why did you come at us today? To see what? Whales? What are those? I've never seen one. Yes, we came on our vessel today to do this wonderful whale watching tour. What whale do you think we are going to see on our tour? Humpback whales? Yes, you're absolutely correct. We are going to see ballenas, jorobadas, or humpback whales. Do you think whales are amphibians, reptiles, mammals? What do you say? Mammals? That's correct. What does being a mammal entail? What are those characteristics of a mammal? They feed their babies with the milk. They also give birth. They don't lay eggs. They are warm-blooded. So yes, they are mammals just like us, and they also breathe air. Well, let's talk about these fantastic marine mammals that are protected by the Marine Mammal Protection Act. And in order to protect them, we also follow NOAA regulation called whale sense, which means that we cannot cut their path, we cannot chase them, we cannot approach them by the head. About 1 mile away, we need to reduce our speed, and about 100 yards, we cannot go closer to that. So no, today we're not going to touch a whale because that's also illegal. But we will see them in their natural habitat. The Pacific Ocean, is their home, and we are also on the Tongass National Forest, a temperate rainforest, and the only one in the U.S. continental area. So, today we will see them doing what? Dancing? Sleeping? Feeding? What do you think? The answer is probably feeding, but sometimes they might be sleeping. But these are feeding grounds for these beautiful marine mammals that comes all the way from Hawaii, traveling thousands of miles to feed on these waters, which is the favorite channel of Juneau, the capital of Alaska. And they come with their babies because they reproduce and have babies on shallow coastlines like Hawaii. But they come to Alaska to get fat, because we do not body shame here. And you know, what do they eat? They eat fish, small fish, and krill, which is tiny, tiny microscopic shrimp. And they do this feeding called, like, for example, lunch feeding, which means that they will come and they will open their mouth, fill them with water, and then spit out all that water that will be filtered out. How do they filter this water? Do they have teeth? What do they have on their mouth? Well, they have baleen plates, which are like a comb. And you know, they have these hairs that are very, very long, and they are made the same material of our nails. So, these baleen will have those hairs that filter out the water and leave the food inside. And you know, humpback whales were hunted almost to extinction in 1930s. So what do? Well, they created an alliance about multiple countries, and they started to protect them because they are not only breathtaking, but they're also breath-giving, and they're a keystone umbrella species, which means that if they disappear, we will be in serious trouble, because a lot of animals and the marine ecosystems rely on them for survival. Not only that, but they also help produce more than 50% of the oxygen that we breathe. And they also help cycle nutrients in an ocean. So it helps the greenhouse emissions. So these whales, even when they die, they will feed bottom feeders as their carcasses decompose. So, besides doing lunchback feeding, they also do something called bubble net feeding. And this was a mechanism that they developed when they were hunted almost to extinction. So they come together as a group, and you have about 20 whales blowing bubbles on a spiral. And then they will come all the way to the surface. And they will go down. And you see those tails popping up. And those tails have a trailing and different shapes and patterns on those tails in their back. And those will help us identify every single individual that have their own personalities. Because some of them will like to hang out with other whales, while others do not. Just like us. And if this is not an example of their intelligence, I don't know what it is. Not only that, but they also have their own languages. So some of the whales, let's say in the Atlantic Ocean, will be like, and then others in the Pacific might do something like, I don't know, that's something, you know, or maybe they talk like a different language, but they definitely are very smart. And so they have different threats, just like climate change, pollution, overfishing, and vessel strikes, and many, many others. But the important part is that we play a part on protecting them. So let's have that in mind as we consume, as we hold accountable our government. And thank you for coming with us on our tour. My name is Silvette. Thank you for choosing us as your tour guides. And please give a round of applause for our crew, and give a round of applause for yourself, because you've been a wonderful crew, a wonderful group, I mean. My name is Silvette. If you like our tour, please give us a review. If you didn't, please just write a different name. My name is not Silvette, it's Maria. So this is all for today. Give a round of applause. Woo! I hope you had fun.